Oh, hello. Sorry about that little black screen there. I've just hi Del, Veronica, Donna, Marg. Who did I miss? Well, there was quite a few of you there. Liz, Bronwyn, Cheryl, Michelle, Sue. Lots of Sues. Joe's here. Another Sue. Hi everyone. You've all got an entry in the jar. Sorry, I just got a bit caught out because my kids just decided to come home and they said they'd be quiet, but you'll be able to hear them in the background because three kids cannot be quiet. When I say kids, they're mid-20s, but they're heading out to a concert. I don't know why they're here, but anyway, they're here, so they're making noise in the background. Sorry about that. Hi, Jude. I think you're new. Jackie, Denise, Catherine, you might be new too. Carol. Weather is shocking. Where are you, Liz? You in Adelaide? I was just talking to Tracy and she said it's pouring rain. Hi, Chris. Hi, Denise. We had one heavy shower that lasted like a minute here today, all out of the blue. But well done, Denise. You put it in your calendar, gave yourself a notification. Hi, Gwen. But yeah, we haven't had much rain at all. The garden's really dry. So this weekend's job, I've finished completely redigging out and redirting and weeding and starting the garden bed. So this weekend I have to get plants and check up on the sprinkler system because everything's so dry. Hi, Anne. Hi, Karen. Hi, Gidget. Home to getting wedding invitations out. Have you got a wedding coming up? Exciting. Oh, Victoria. So it's pouring rain in Victoria. Okay. Right. No, we only got one shower and apparently it's pouring rain in South Australia. So good for the crops, she said. They're not worried at all. Very good for the crops. So that's a good start, I guess. Okay. So we've had all had a good week. We've had an eventful week here. Had a little accident this week, so I'm good. Shed guy's just a little bit sore and sorry for himself. But yeah, all going well. Got a lot of stitching done. Lightning and thunder with rain in Melbourne. Oh, maybe it's still coming for us. I know we're meant to be getting snow down to 500 metres tomorrow night, so it's going to be back to cold, but it was like 18 or 20 or something today. Raining in Wagga, plenty of thunder. Hopefully it's just a fleeting storm. Hi, Shelley on YouTube. Hi. Shelley, I've noted your request for next week, maybe. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Janie. Yeah, we're all set to go for you tonight. Yeah, okay, maybe the rain's on the way. So spring's teased us for a bit, but that's all right. We need rain for the garden. Okay, so hi, Leanne. Kylie. Hi, Rhonda. Was Rhonda on here? Which Rhonda? I missed Rhonda. Okay, so if you're regulars here, rain in Crystal Brook. Yeah, I was just talking to Tracy. She said it was been raining there, so you're not far from her. Oh, there's Rhonda there. Hi, Rhonda. I'm like, someone said hello, Rhonda, and I'm thinking I haven't seen Rhonda yet. Hi, Anne-Marie. And Shed, Fiona Shed. Okay, don't know. You'll have to finish that comment. Yeah, of course it is, Shelley. It's always sunny and 20 degrees in Perth. That's all right. We're not complaining. We've had lovely sunny weather and we need the rain as well. Okay, so the jar is filling up. So those of you who've been here before, you can see the little lotto jar just down there, and you know what it means. Every time you leave a comment, a little bubble drops down in there, and you get an entry into the raffle at the end. Hi, Wendy. I think you might be new, maybe. Now, last week, I randomly select a winner at the end. It's a little app. I just click on it and it selects the winner. But we never heard from the winner, and I didn't even recall seeing a comment from her, so I couldn't even find her, which was a bit strange. So I've decided to change the rules. Hi, Jane. I hope Shed Guy heals quickly. Yeah, he's getting through it. The bruising is very impressive, though. So I've started to change the rules, and when I draw it at the end, if you're not still with me, and I know that means you have to sit through an hour of watching paint dry, potentially, then we're just going to stick the prize back in the draw for next week. I'm not sure if I can choose a second winner. I'm not sure if the app lets me. I don't think so. And then it wouldn't be random. So if you're not here at the end to comment and send us your details for your prize, then it's just going back in the tin for next week. Okay, that fair? Sounds fair. So those that you do stick with me, then yeah, you're not missing out either. Thank you for teaching us how to do the leaves. Mine are fabulous. Oh, excellent! It's very satisfying that something actually helps, and you're happy with your work, with your improvement. Hi, Rebecca. Hello. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Genevieve. Oh, we've got Kadena online here tonight. Yeah, and before you all ask, our stitching day in Adelaide, I'm getting close. I'm just trying to sort out food. But other than that, everything's almost ready to open the ticketing. So for those here from South Australia, I will be putting a link in the Facebook group with a time that tickets will open. So that then everyone's got exactly the same chance, as long as you can get on at that time, the link at that time, and book. Because I think you want it to be quick. Oh, Lynn, I hope you're okay watching from your hospital bed. At least that gives you something different to listen to. Having trouble with points, go back and watch those videos. Gidget, yeah, there's only so many tips you can do. In the end, it gets tricky depending on the angle of that point. But if it's not too sharp an angle, you can get it done well. Oh, where are you, Genevieve? Not home. Maybe you're at a craft of life somewhere, are you? Not quite sure. Okay, so let's get on to tonight. So I've got a few things to chat to you about that that Joe sent me home with to show you, and then we had 2 requests for demos tonight. It's nice to get requests because I don't have to think about it. I just have to prepare it. And Genevieve's had a knee reconstruction. Oh, wow. Okay, hope that goes well. You're not hobbling around too much. Hope it went perfectly. Jane's on here. We won't talk about knee reconstructions, will we, Jane? Oh, you didn't have a reconstruction. You just had to. Yeah, you didn't quite go that bad, but yes. All right. So first of all, she sent me home with thread to talk about threads, and I actually forgot to even put this in the description because I forgot that she'd sent me home with that. So we're just going to talk about sewing machine threads, what we have in the shop and what we use and where we use it. So we've had Aurifil for quite some time, just a reasonably small selection of colours in the big spools, all the blending threads that you can use for all your piecing and a lot of quilting. And the Aurifil spools in this size come in green and in orange. I never remember which one's which, but the green is the 40 weight. So that one is a little heavier, and that's what you'd use for piecing so that you've got nice strong seams. So it's 100% cotton piecing thread, and so that's the heavier one. And then the orange is the 50 weight, and so it's a little bit finer. So that's what I would use for quilting, particularly if you're doing sort of dense quilting. Remembering also, you know, it's 100% cotton thread. They're not hugely strong, so I don't use them for applique or EPP because I pull that needle really tight. Remember when we've done our demos, and I just snap the cotton. But for your machine sewing, you can use either or, but using the 40 weight in your seams gives you a nice strong seam. Having said that, if you had heaps and heaps of seams, the thickness of the thread does take up a little bit of space in your seam. So if you were doing hundreds and hundreds of seams, like a really intricate block, you could go to the finer thread so you're not losing quite as much space in each seam in the block. And you're going to have a lot there, so you're still going to have strength. Hi, Joe. Did at the RSL Legs entrance. Very nice. Very nice. So there they were the Aurifil threads. We do have smaller spools in a lot of different colours and things, but we keep the large ones in a lot of blending colours, so greys and creams and tans and blacks and things like that. Having said that, we are slowly cutting down our range of Aurifil because the cost is just getting so high. So Joe's saying she uses the 50 for piecing, 40 for quilting. If you want your quilting to show up and to be a feature, then use the heavier thread. Yeah, for sure. So we are sort of cutting back a bit on Orifal threads because they're $26.50 or something for a reel now, so they're quite expensive. And we are growing our Resant line. So this is a very popular thread that's been around forever. It is a 40 weight and it is a cotton wrapped poly core thread. Every machine is quite happy with it. It's been around forever. It's an inexpensive, good quality thread, nice and strong, not too linty, and comes in heaps of colours. So we're building up our range of Resant threads just for all your sewing needs. We also have a bit of a range of a few others. So this is a bottom line. If you know the Superior bottom line that I used for English paper piecing, in the little bobbins, it's the same thing. So this is a fine, so a 60 weight polyester thread. So it's fine, but it's strong. And I use that for dense, well, apart from in your bobbin, but for really dense quilting where you want a really fine thread. In fact, I've just done one using a what did I use? This is so fine. So there's a so fine Superior as well. This is the bottom line. So fine is a cotton fine one, and I've just done one using a Decabob, which is 80 weight. So yeah. If you want really dense quilting and you don't want it to be too heavy, then go for a finer one. Gwen, I love Resant threads. Yeah, they've been around for years. They're when my very first business was a women's and children's baby wear, like knit fabric, like rugby tops, fancy rugby tops. I did that for a couple of years, 28 years ago, and I used Resant for all of it. So yeah, for a couple of years I used thousands of meters of Resant. Always been around, really good solid thread. So that's just a bit about our threads, and I didn't put the links in for those because I actually forgot that I had those and I was talking about those. But yeah, there you go. All right. Next suggestion was, how many weeks is it until Christmas? I'm just going to shut my door. Bentley's just opened it. Oh no, now he's going to go out again. So in a minute, he's going to be barking at the door to come back in. That's all right. I didn't look up how many weeks of Christmas, but I know it's not very far away. And I was wandering in the city today while I was waiting for Shed Guy and noticed that there's Christmas decorations and Christmas things everywhere. So it was suggested that we start showing you some of Christmas projects, because we won't hit you all at once, but if you start now, you've got a chance to make it by Christmas still. So this week, I think Donna was in today, and they've sent in this one to start, which is called Celebrate Joy, and it is a little it's a little wall hanging, but you could make it into a cushion or a table center or whatever you want. That's not very good there. And you can also get this custom made laser cut wall hanging, like hanger for it. So wooden hanger, which just comes in raw MDF, but then you just spray. I've sprayed mine silver, and they haven't sent the hanger home, so I can't show you that. But this is the project. So that is called Celebrate Joy, and I forgot to put that in the links as well. But you can see it's got stitchery in the middle, just a little bit of red work stitchery, and then it's got EPP wedges around it, and in the pattern comes the pre-cut papers for that and the iron-on transfer for that. And in the kit you get everything, including the rick-rack, and you get the pre-cut papers as well. So there's a nice little 15 weeks till Christmas. Thank you very much, Fiona. So yeah, so that's the Christmas project of the week. If you want to start getting in the Christmas spirit and start organising your Christmas projects. It was one of the Stitches Garden projects last year when we did wall hangings for the whole year, little mini wall hangings, so you could have a wall full of little mini quilts. But it also could be a cushion, or you could make it into anything you want. So it's about 20 inches square, so it's just a nice little table centre too you could use it for. Okay, so that is called, what did we say? Celebrate Joy. So that's the kit, everything in it there with the kit, and you can get the wall hanger separately, or you can just get the pattern that has the papers in it and the transfer in it. That's our Christmas project for this week. Stay tuned, we're going to have one every week. because I have hundreds. Remember, we did do Christmas Club for about 3 years, where the club members got a Christmas project every 2 months. So there's lots of Christmas projects. Hi, Susan. Welcome. Hello. I'm just joining in now. Okay, so that's all I've got to show you apart from what I'm going to demo and the things that I'm going to be demoing with. So what are we going to do first? We will first do the flying geese. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the overhead camera. Oh, I'm zoomed in a bit close. Let's zoom out a bit. Oh, I'm zoomed right in there. Maybe even further, maybe to about there. All right. So, and I'm also going to put on the screen, I'll put it up in a minute. I did a little cheat sheet for you. So Janie asked for a demo on how to do the flying geese blocks. I'm not quite sure, Janie, what project you said you were doing that had flying geese in it, was it one of the Simply Charmed quilts? Not sure. One of them anyway, but it doesn't matter because I pretty much always use the 4-up method for flying geese blocks. So I've done some step-by-step samples here. So we start with, a flying geese block, I haven't got a finished one yet to show you, but it's got like the goose and then the 2 wings on it out the side. You'll see it when we finish what it looks like. And there are lots of different ways to make it, but this is the 4-up, what I call the 4-up method. And basically one set of blocks. Oh, okay. Simply Charmed Christmas one. Hummingbird quilting. Don't know that one. Okay. So you've come out with 4 flying geese blocks from 1 block to start with. Now, flying geese block needs to be double the width as it is the height. I should have had a finished one to show you. I have to wait to do it, but that's all right. So just remember that the height has to be half the width. So a finished block will be like 1 inches by 2 inches, or 3 inches by 6 inches, or 4 inches by 2 inches. Okay, it's always got to be double like that for this method. And the maths is the actual goose block, so the big black background square, we add 1 1/4 inches to the finished size. So if it's 4 inches finished, we need to cut this square 5 1/4 inches. So 4 plus 1 1/4. And then the little wing bits that go on the side, which is the height of the finished block. Okay, so if it was 2 inches high, we have to add 7/8 of an inch. So we're going to cut them at 2 7/8 inches. Hi, Maxine, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to give you all this maths in a minute, so don't worry too much about the maths. And if you've got a pattern, it's going to give you the maths in it anyway. Now, this is the maths to make it exactly to size. Some people, like they do with half square triangles, make them oversized and then you trim back at the end. I hate that trimming. I know it possibly makes it more accurate in the end, but if you cut accurately and sew accurately and press accurately, then the actual maths should work. So I always use this method. So add 1 1/4 to your big square, add 7/8 to your little squares, and you need 4 of them. So you start off by putting 2 squares diagonally on your large square, and you mark a line diagonally on all your small squares from point to point. I don't know if you can see that because it's a dark fabric, but if you have a look on here, you can see I've marked a line. Now, there are ways not to have to mark that line. So if you are doing hundreds of flying geese blocks, or half square or quarter square triangle blocks, then we might demonstrate those another week as well. Then instead of having to sit and draw, I just put it on sandpaper with a pencil and a ruler and drew every one. Instead of having to do that, there are things there to help you. So this is just a diagonal seam tape, and it's just a sticky tape that's got a red line where your needle sits and then a 1/4 inch line either side of it. And you just stick that on your sewing machine from, say, the needle's there. You just stick it straight ahead like that and make sure the needle is lined up with the red line. And then as you're feeding your square through, you just keep that on the red line, or you keep it on the black line, and your needle is going to be a 1/4 inch either side on the red line. So there is that diagonal seam tape, just sticks on the bed of your machine. Or even better, there is the Clearly Perfect Angles tool. And this is like a sticky electromagnetic sticky sheet that's see-through. It peels off its backing sheet. So it's sitting on a backing sheet in here. I don't want to peel it off because then it's no good, but it does peel off that and then sticks onto, you see there, sticks onto the bed of your machine just by, you know, static electricity sort of stickiness. And again, you position that on your machine. You cut out the little square here that sits on top of your feed dogs. So the feed dogs are cut out. You haven't got plastic over there. And your needle goes right in that point there. And you cut out that bit. And then you just stick that on the bed of your machine. If you need like a flat bed on your machine. And then when you're passing your squares through, you can line it up all the way through. And if you've got a bigger square, it even gets harder. And you get to these diagonal lines and you can make sure it just stays square as you stitch through like that. And I just have that on the machine, on my machine bed all the time. It is better if it's a machine that you don't pack up and take to you know, workshops and things like that, because every time you take it off and on, it's harder to, it loses its stick. You could be careful with it and put it back on its backing sheet and clean it to keep its electro stickiness and all the rest of it, but just leave it on a machine that you don't take out and just have that on there permanently. And then you never have, it also helps for your 1/4 inch on straight seams, for doing bindings. You've got just all these lines there that you just keep feeding through square all the time. So that's the Clearly Perfect Angles tool. So that saves you on drawing all those diagonal lines. But we digress. Yes, it would sit on your extension table. That's right, Janie. It would. Hi, Carleen. Welcome. So we drew that line on the back. We put 2 on opposite corners, and then we cut. We sew 1/4 inch either side. Okay. Then we cut a part on the drawed line, so in between the two. And this is where I use my corner cutter ruler. I've shown you this before, but this corner cutter ruler is great. You can line up your center square with the 2 points, but you've also got these 2 1/4 inch lines, which really quickly you can line up with your 2 stitch lines, and then you know that you're at point to point. I haven't got a very big cutting mat here to show you, but then my blade just goes in that little slit and I slice along, and it's cut in half without any bias edges skewing or running off or anything like that. So it holds it all nice and flat, whereas when you just use the edge, it tends to sort of push out under the ruler. So this is the corner cutter ruler, just in the slit through there. Okay, so I'm going to turn my iron on. Hold on a tick. So now I've got 2 halves like that. And then I would, here's my 2, where's 1/2, but I've got 2 halves like that. And then we press these triangles out. And it's important when you're pressing it out that we press perpendicular, because this is now a bias edge. We cut point to point on a 45 degree of that square. So it's a complete bias edge. So we've got to make sure we don't twist it or turn it. So the best way to do it is with a hot iron. And yes, I do use steam, but you probably shouldn't on a bias edge. But so you need to push perpendicular to it. So just push straight out like that. And then you're not twisting it. It's just going straight out. And you're opening it up like that. Okay. So now we've got 2 funny looking half blocks. Old fabrics, so they're fraying. I've got threads everywhere. Right. Or in this case, this is my other sample. We open it up like that. Okay. Then what you do, so you've got 2 of these, remember? Pretend we've got 2 in this color. Then you've got 4 of these little triangles, so we've got 1 left each for each unit. Okay, so you put that one on the corner with the diagonal line going from the top to the bottom. Now the 1/4 inch line either side should go through where that point matches. You can't see very well on that fabric, maybe on here. So it should go through, the 1/4 inch line should sit there and there. So at that junction there. And what we're going to do then is sew 1/4 inch either side of the line. Can you see that? I'm sewn 1/4 inch either side of the line. Then we go back to our cutting mat. Stick my 2 lines on my 2 stitching lines and cut. Need to stand up to cut. Okay. And then when we again press out perpendicular to that seam, so straight that way. We don't want to be going this way because we're going to put it out of shape. Perpendicular to the seam, straight out. Straight out. And there's my 2 flying geese blocks. Then I would have had my other half. So I would sew that one, cut it apart, and I'm going to get 4. So out of my 1 big square and 4 little squares, I've got 4 flying geese blocks. And there's your flying geese. Now, remember I said the width is double the height. So this at the moment is 2.5 by 4.5 inch unfinished, but finished, it's going to be 2 inches by 4 inches. So the width double the height. Okay. Then you'll also notice that our point is sitting 1/4 inch in from the edge of the seam allowance. It's meant to be like that. That's exactly how it's meant to be. So when we sew these together to make our row of geese, you want to flip it over, and your stitch line, your 1/4 inch stitch line, you want to pass. Oh, look at all that tangled thread there. It's not a very good one to look at. It's the only one I've got. Let's look on this one. So your 1/4 inch stitch line wants to pass exactly through that point where it's crossed over. I come up here. So exactly where those 2 lines cross should be where your 1/4 inch is. And if it's not, just sort of ease it out a little bit so that your row of stitching goes straight over that junction point. And then when you open it up, you should have a perfect point. Okay, you haven't chopped your point off, or you're not showing any of the pink outside of it. Okay, so that is the flying geese. So helpful tools is the diagonal seam tape or the clearly perfect angles tool, and the corner cutter ruler all helps with that, to get a really good even stitch. Now I'm just going to, I will just put some of these links in for you. So then they're in there, and we'll go back to here. And I just have to let the dog in because, yes, he's ready to come in now. Come on, quick, on your bed. All right, I think the kids have gone. Okay. Did I miss any questions? Now I get it. The visual. Yeah, okay, that's great, Jenny. So the visual helped you. Hi, Karen, you must have just arrived. Oh, Mum's watching. Hi, Mum. Okay, Mum's apparently watching. She did remember. One day you'll be able to comment, Mum, and you can go in the prize draw. You just need to type in that little comment box and say hello, and I'll see that it's from you. Just tap in the little box and then hit any key. Just one number is all you need, and I'll know you're there. Okay, so that was that. And then the next thing that was requested is to show you how our stick and stitch things work. Okay, so these the corner cutter ruler, Fiona, Joe, do you remember the $25, $30, something like that? Yeah, I think it's something like that. Well, I just put the link in, so if you click on that link, it'll take you to the website where it is, Fiona, afterwards, and you'll see where it is. Okay, so our stick and stitch patterns, there's 6 of them, I think, and each one comes with a different selection of little drawings, little designs on them. I'll go to the overhead. I'm not sure if I've got them all. Have I got them all, Joe? Did you send me all of them? Maybe. So this is just for fun. So it's got like a balloon dog and a bike and a camera, paper plane, a kite, heart, cloud, a boat, just for fun little things. Okay. And then this one's sewing. So this has got all sewing sort of sewing related things. I suppose the snowflake's not really sewing, but there's lots of sewing things on there, and then there's other little things that would work with sewing to adorn things. Scissors, a spool of thread, a button, pin cushion, cocktail. We all need a cocktail while we're sewing by the pool. Pencil, sewing machine, such and such, hexies. So that's sewing. This one's botanicals. Can we see there? Okay, so this is all of Australian sort of botanicals. We've got gum, leaves, gum, we've got the yucca, more gum blossoms, protea, snake, what is that called? Can't remember what it's called. Kangaroo paw, wattle, a few different wattles, and Sturt's desert pea, I think that is, isn't it? Okay, brain's going. So that's botanicals. What else do we have? Animals. So on the animals, we've got an elephant, echidna, bunny rabbit, flamingo, bunny, another bunny, a sheep, a little chicken, a mouse, a duck, fox, a llama, ants, a little lamb, butterfly, and a penguin. So just various animals. So that is 4. So it looks like I've only got 4. Hang on, what's under here? Maybe I've got more here. Oh, yes. Okay. Florals. Okay, florals. Just all different little flowers. Okay. And leaves and things. So again, sort of foliage and leaves and flowers and cactus and all sorts of things like that. Okay. And then we also have an iron and the same thing in iron and stitch. So you know that we have iron-on transfers all the time. So the stick and stitch is designed to use on clothes and caps and shoes and boots and things like that, where you really can't iron a transfer on. You can't put it on a light box. You can't trace it. So you know, it's just tricky to get your design on there. So they're really good for that, but it's not as easy to stitch through as it is when you've just got your design stitched onto the fabric without an extra layer of sticky stuff on top. So because we can do iron-on transfers, we've repeated the whole thing with iron-on transfers. So if you've got a flat surface that you can put your design onto, then you might prefer to iron and stitch. But Carleen asked if we could just go through. Hi, Karen. That's all right. You can watch the replay. Jenny, hi, Anne-Marie. People just turning up now. It's all right. You've still got your name in the drawer. I'll just let you know that we've changed the rules tonight with the lottery jar, and you need to be here at the end when we draw the winner to get your prize. Otherwise, it's going back in the drawer for next week, because we then can't contact you to give it to you if you don't contact us. So that's the rule now. You've got to stick it out to the end with me. Hi, Sue. You're excused. It's okay. So the stick and stitch come printed on this special sticky paper, which is on a backing sheet of paper. Okay, it's like a waxy paper on the back that sticks on there like that. So it comes on one sheet. You may have seen other people doing this where they're all cut out in nice little round curvy bits. I'm sorry, but I can't spend the hours it would take to pre-cut all of these out in the hundreds of sheets and that we print. So I figure it's just easier for it to come flat, and it stays nice and flat and protected in your little bag. It ships as a letter, and you can cut it out yourself when you want to use it, and then you're not going to lose all your little bits. Okay, so you take your piece like this, and I'm not going to cut a good one apart because I already have. But you then just cut out your pieces. And when you're cutting it out, try and cut it in curves. Don't have like sharp points, because when you've got sharp points, it's just an edge to get caught and peel off. So we just, you know, when you're cutting out, just use your nice long bladed scissors and wrap around in curves like that. You don't want too much excess of the stickiness on it, because it just gets in the way and it's sticky. So you're cutting it fairly close to where the edge of your design is. Now, I don't print them too thicker lines. I like to keep the lines fine, just in case any of that ink stays. If you're doing it on like a white singlet or a white shirt or something, everyone's printer ink is different, and it just concerns me when you wash away the paper that there could still be some ink that stains it. So I print it in really quite fine lines, so there's not too much ink and not too black. Okay, so we cut out the piece we want to do, And then I'm just going to show you, this was Joe's work in progress. And see, this is on a calico apron, which we have these, by the way. So she used the iron-on transfers because it was nice and flat and she could just transfer the designs on there and then stitch away, and she's added all other bits too. That's a work in progress. But mine, with my stick and stitch, you may have seen, and I should have brought my blunnies in as well to show you my Blunston boots where I've done it on those. Oh, I'm sitting on it. Okay, so my work in progress is on a denim jacket. So you can see I've got one there. Mostly they're on the front. And this is filthy. It needs to be washed because I actually wear this all the time. Quite often with pins and needles, and sometimes even embroidery hoops still on it when I'm wearing it. But I've just found a spot and just stuck it on and am embroidering as I go. Let's look on the other side. Yep, look at that. I went out to dinner the other night with all these T-pins in there in my pocket. Another one up there. Okay, so I just find a spot to stick my next piece on. Here I've got like a pocket there, but I can get my hoop inside that and stitch inside. So sometimes it gets a little bit fiddly, but I didn't want to stitch my pocket in because I might use that for something. And same with the pocket here. If you wanted to stitch there, you'd want to put your hoop in there and just stitch through the top layer and not actually stitch your pocket together. So find a spot. Let me see. Maybe I've got one on a sleeve. So I've got a little button there. I might take my pair of scissors and point it towards my, oh, I'm off camera. Point it towards my button there. So I'm just going to peel the back off and stick my little design where I want it there. And then I'm going to take my hoop wherever I did with it. Oh, I think I forgot to bring my bag in with my hoop and all my threads. Wait 1 second. On your bed. Take on your bed. Up on your bed. It's lucky everything's close, isn't it? Right, so I'm back. So I've got my hoop. Now I'm just using a little 3-inch hoop because I want to put that in the sleeve there and then put my hoop over it. Now you could do it without a hoop, but you know that I can't work without a hoop, so I always have my hoop. But if it got into a really tight spot, I guess I'd have to do it without it. Okay, then I'm just going to take my needle, and this is my thread bin. Look how disgusting that is. So I might just do a black pair of scissors, and I might just use a Presentia thread today because I've got that there. Although a bit thicker might be better, just so it shows up on the denim. So maybe I will do this grey. What colour scissors are we having now? Grey's not going to show up. Maybe we'll just have a pink pair of scissors so that it shows up. So this is my very old thread box that I'm just using up all different scraps and samples. Good way to use it up if you've got grandma's old fancy work box, which I had. And I might do 3 threads, I think, so that it shows up on denim. It needs to be fairly contrasty to show up and chunky to show up on a denim jacket. Depends what you're stitching on as to how many threads you're going to use. All right, I'm going to thread and I'm going to knot. And then I need to get inside my sleeve. And it can get a little bit awkward. You can stab stitch, or I'm going to try and scoop stitch. Okay, so I've managed to get my finger inside the sleeve so I can just I'm just going to do a back stitch along that line, and my finger's in there to push the needle back up so I'm not working too hard. Remember, we've gone over back stitch before, so doing a scoop stitch, 2 motions in one. And if it starts to lift up a little bit, you just stick it back down. It's just like a sticky mesh with the print line on it. And you can just outline stitch it, or you can fill it, you can satin stitch it, you can do whatever you like. Just stitching on your lines because the design's there. Okay, so I'm not going to go through and stitch, make you sit there and watch all of that. But once I'd finished, I don't think I've got any that I haven't washed. So once you've finished, you're just going to cut away as much as you can of the sticky stuff away from your embroidery. And then you simply just dunk it in water and the rest just dissolves. I cut it away, otherwise you do get a bit of a globby mess. And the more, these are all quite soft, but the more you wear it and wash it, it dissolves, but it might sort of sit in your fabric. So if you wash it completely, you want to wash it out of your fabric. So that's the stick and stitches. It's easy as that. It's just stick it wherever you want the pattern to be. That it's really hard to, draw on a light box or trace or even iron a transfer on. And it also good on dark fabrics where you can't see a transfer on there. So it's good on darker fabrics. It's good on knit fabrics. If you're doing it on knit fabrics, like on a little baby singlet or something like that, I would actually also put a little bit of our really lightweight H&K stabilizer on the back so that when you're putting it into your hoop, you're not stretching the little singlet or a little knit fabric. Because this actually will, when you stretch it, this will pull off, and you don't want that to be stretched, and then when you let it go, it all crinkles up. So you get in there, put a little bit of stabilizer, fuse a little bit of stabilizer on the back of your singlet first so that it can't stretch, just big enough for your shape. And then stick this on the top, put it in your hoop without stretching it. So you're going to put it in really loosely, but the stabilizer will help not to stretch it. And then stitch through and trim off any excess. And just like do with machine embroidery, trim off the rest and wash out the stick and stitch. So I hope that answers your question, Carleen, and gives you some ideas. There's lots on here. As I said, on my Blunny boots, I've got it on the elastics on the sides. You can use it on anything you like, really. We also have a stick and stitch club where you can sign up, and every 2 months you get one sent to you. So we've got 6 at the moment. I don't think we've got to 12 months, so I guess I'm going to have to get some more designed ready for next year. So they're $20 a set, and if you join the club, I think you get free postage and they get sent up. But yeah, on little babies' clothing and that, Rhonda, yeah, really sweet to put things on there, and a lot of young mums are getting into that and doing that. So yeah, they're really handy. But as I said, we also have the iron-on version as well, which of course is no good for your little singlets and baby rompers and things, knit fabrics. Well, it sort of will work depending on the size of them, but the stick and stitch is good for things like that. It doesn't gum up your needle. It's not like a wet sticky, but you are pushing through like an extra piece of plastic. So it's not as pleasant stitching through it as what it is just through your normal fabric with a transfer or a trace design on it. So I'm just going to, I've added that, and I will just add the link to the stick and stitch, which I think has got the iron stitch as well. And have I missed anything in my links? Oh, well, just my stitchery needles. I was using the stitchery needles, so I add that link. And I promised you, and I'm just going to come on, when we were doing the flying geese, I forgot that I had done a cheat sheet for you. Okay, so you can't really see this. Let me see. Can I see it? No, you can't really see the full thing on the screen. But if I add a link here. Oh, you have a baby, Rhonda. I don't have a baby yet. No, none in sight. One day maybe. So I've just added a link to the 4-Up Flying Geese cheat sheet in the comments. And if you click on that, then you can download and print out or save the PDF of all the measurements and the instructions on how to do your 4-up flying geese. Okay, so that's in there for you. There are an extra little giveaway today on there for you. All right, so we're a bit quicker. We're at 47 minutes. So I haven't made you stay around too much today. Unless anyone else has got any questions. Hope that helped Carleen and Janie. They were both our requests tonight for demos. So it's always good for me to know what to do. And have I missed any comments? I don't think so. If you're watching on replay, it's there for whenever you need it. Mum, I haven't seen a comment, so you haven't managed to put a letter in the comments. We'll teach you that one day, but I'm gathering you're still there. So we need to draw our raffle. I won't forget this week. I will just get rid of our links. Maybe I'll hide those now. So I can see, because it's really, remember, it's really small writing and I can't see it very well. So I'm going to draw a raffle. Just going to hide that. And remember our new rule that if you didn't make it to the end and you're not here when I draw the winner, then it's going back into the barrel for next week. Okay. Okay, ready, steady, get a winner. Oh, that can't. How can I win? I didn't comment. It says Helen Stubbings. Let me see if I can draw it again. Oh, it did let me get it again. Leanne Harms. There you go. I can draw it a second time. Leanne, are you still here? Yes, you are. You just said thank you. So you're our winner. So there you go. We can do the redraw. It works. I know that it works now. I mean, I can't win myself, can I? Hi, Wendy. We're just about to finish, but welcome. You can watch it on replay. So, Leanne, you won. So contact Jo. If you want anything else, you can add it in with it. And you've got a choice of, well, actually, no, you've got the, unless you don't want it, you've got the leftover set of the Allen hair papers that we gave away last week that wasn't given away. So that's what you've won. Yeah, you're here, Leanne. Well done. You stuck with me to the end. Hi, Roseanne. Just about to finish, but just go back and watch on replay. Well done, Leanne. That can be your birthday, belated birthday present, so you can get the paper pack. All right. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. I'm back in my garden. I've got to go and buy all new plants now to get in that garden. And I'm not sure what else is on this weekend. Surely I can find something. I've got a few things happening in the thing. And South Australian ladies, be ready next week for opening of our bookings. But I think that's about it. Have a great stitchy week. And we'll see you all then. Okay. Bye for now.